been stuck here for the past 2 days. I'm trying to get in. I went to the Americans. They pushed me out. They kicked me out. I went to the Germans. They beat me out with the sticks. They fired us. You see these gas fires that make you cry?
Yeah, tear gas.
Yeah, tear gas.
My mom is
My
sick.
kid, he's
Like
a 1
my
year
mother.
old kid. They fired with the gas, and everyone was crying right here like an hour ago. The tear gas in between the kids. You see, they're like 1 year old kid. How can you put the gas? The Americans.
Is that the Americans?
Yeah, and they're too rude. The Americans, the Germans, they're too rude. They beat up people with baseball bats.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Barakadosh. God belongs to the apostles of GMS, and sincere Shalom to the brothers out here pushing this truth and sincerity, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. And as you just watched, there's tension between the U.S. and the European and the Afghans. And apparently, between this whole thing with Afghanistan and Taliban, Europeans was promising them the to secure the Afghanistans away from that area, and they talking about shutting down the operation. And of course, America was getting involved. It involved those promises. They had passports and everything, but of course, just like of course, as we expect from this place, they back out on everything. And this is not going to happen to just them. This is going to happen to every place that's going to go to hell. This is Matthew 24:6. It says, "And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled." See that ye be not troubled. So this is exactly what we expect. This is exactly what we're expected to see, and it's going to get worse from there. Especially when World War III kicks out, they're going to start drafting people. They're going to start doing all sorts of crazy stuff, especially in this society where it's going to go real bad. And this is just one of the many wars that you're going to hear. You're going to hear the wars of the peoples, the wars of civilization, the wars inside their own kingdoms. That's the thing. That's why it says you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. It's just not talking about just one war, where World War III would be the ultimate one, but it's a war with even amongst these people. I'm talking about even in these other kingdoms. You're going to be seeing a whole entire world go to chaos. Do people think this world is gone bad now because of some virus? No, this is not even the start of it. This ain't even the beginning of it. This is just a warm up. If we want to look at it from this standpoint, because that's all this is. That's all it's always been, is a warm up. They talking about they getting shot at, beaten up, and tear gassed. This is Ecclesiastes 12:3. It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the window be darkened." So, when all this really shuts down, like how with this virus, they already done shut down a lot of jobs, including restaurants, businesses, and some other places. Hell, when they got the okay that they could come back to work, some businesses stay closed because they couldn't afford opening back up. So what does people want to do when this hits even harder? Don't be surprised when there's no more Chick-fil-A's around. Don't be surprised when there's no more Walmarts around, or even your other shoe places and all the other mess. Don't be surprised when you don't see none of that stuff, because we're coming into a time where that's very close to happening. How, especially where I live, or I think this is pretty much all over the all over Babylon right now. Is there's no Macy's. Macy's in the U.S. was sold to China. So what about the rest of these other places? McDonald's, Burger King, Shoe City, Foot Locker, GameStop, your places for TVs. That's all going to go to China or any other place that these rats can get more money out of. So it says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. So that's all your entertainment, your musics, your hell, even your internets. Hell, you have to pay even higher price to even pay for internet, or to even pay for YouTube, to pay a higher price to watch your channels and stuff like that, if they even continue with that. So they're gonna make it real hard out here for anybody and everybody. And this is why Romans 12:2 always kicks in. Be not conformed to this world. Because to be conformed to this world, you're talking about you're comfortable in the society. So what happens when your comfortability is taken away? You go nuts. Because you're so used to having this and that. I mean, it's not going to be any easier on us. But for these people that's out here in the dark that don't want to know, they're going to find out real quick. They're going to have to wake up to the reality, and they're going to snap from the reality and try to find their own reality, even if it drives them nuts. That's the thing about this whole thing. These people are going to go nuts. World War III is going to be kicking off real heavy. People are going to have to hide, and we continue to do what the Lord tells us to do until this whole place blows up. This is Joel 3:2. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Mind you, it's funny enough that for the past, I want to say 2 years, probably even longer, a little longer, is that I'm seeing different parts, different kingdoms, or different nations started bucking up against this place over time, or starting fighting each other over time. Because now we're seeing different kingdoms fighting each other. Mind you, a lot of these kingdoms are allied with America, which is funny. So what happens when they all get fed up with what America is doing? Because a lot of these countries, is what I'm reading, is pretty tired of tired of America bullying them. So what happens when they start seeing that, hey, instead of fighting each other, we can fight these guys together? And that's what's really going to happen, is when these, hell, even if they don't all come together, it's the fact that they're all going to have the similar goal of blowing this place up, because they're the ones that's instigating these fights. That's why even the Lord said, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land. And see, when you go into plead, he's not literally talking about pleading as in trying to talk peacefully. He's talking about pleading as in destroying them. And that's what's going to happen, especially with this place. He's bringing everybody there just so he can wipe them off the face of the map, as we like to say. That's all. It's the end game. It's the end game goal here, to wipe them off, and that's the end of it. That'll be the end of the story, especially when the Lord gives us the spiritual bodies, and the whole one I'm of the elect and various other brothers, because we work to see that day where this devil gets paid back for what he does. So what we're seeing now is just a prelude. Hardly even a warm-up, but it's getting there. Things about to get worse. And this is the news. These are the future events, the prophecies that will happen. So that's all I have on that. So with that, shalom.